AITA for taking the cake I baked for my fiance's birthday and going home? Me F25 and fiance M31, Ben's mom don't have the best relationship. I try my best to be polite around her, but she's the type that'd have high standards, expectations of whoever dates her sons. She has 3. She's commented on my hair and body several times and at some point suggested cosmetic surgeries for the future. This upsets me, but Ben tells me this is who she is and I need to learn to have a thick skin since oftentimes she doesn't really mean to be malicious. Anyways, I'm known for baking cakes and sweets. Ben eats what I make, but whenever I bring something to his family to try, they find every excuse in the world not to eat it. I'm okay with that and stopped doing it. For Ben's 31st birthday, his mom wanted to host the party. I decided to bake him his birthday cake and he was thrilled with it. I went grocery shopping, took time off work and put so much effort into making it how he likes it. I took it with me to his mom's house and to my surprise when I walked in I saw a large birthday cake sitting at the dining table. I was puzzled. FMIL said she requested this cake from the bakery and paid XXX money for it. I asked, what about the cake I've made? Quote. She responded, oh, you can place it on the counter over there and we'll let the kids have it. This felt like ice was dropped all over me. I looked at Ben and he nodded at me in a, just do it, way. I was so mad and the cake was still in my hands at the time. I turned around and made my way to the door. His mom remained standing, but Ben followed me asking where I was going. I told him that he didn't need my cake and by extension me, since my efforts were so easily dismissed and disrespected. He said I was overreacting and that his mom paid so much for that cake and it was only fair that he accept it. He begged me to get back inside and do him this favor by basically just go with the flow, but I decided to go home. He got mad and started saying I was being unreasonable and stirring drama over nothing. I went home and he didn't get back till 11 p.m. He was so upset he said he and his family didn't appreciate the childish behavior I displayed in ruining his party and disrespecting his mom like that. Said I turned this into a huge deal and should have acted more maturely instead of walking out with the cake. AITA for taking the cake and walking out? NTA. Please don't marry this man. Run far, far away and bake your cakes for someone who chooses you, not their mom. You deserve it. NTA and realize this is going to be your life. Him never having your back. Info. Was she aware you were bringing a cake? Did you make sure she knew you wanted to bring the cake? TBH, mixed feelings on this one. Ben should stand up for you more and his mom's comments are absolutely malicious by looks on things. That's for sure. But I'm super confused by this cake thing. You said whenever you bring something you bake they never eat it. What made you think this time would be any different? Especially since you didn't communicate in any way to his mom that you are bringing a cake she is hosting. Did you just assume she wouldn't bake, order a cake? Why were you confused? There was a cake already there. You could have made a small cake to enjoy at home or ask his mom if it's okay to bring one. Emo. Info. Did his mom know you were making the birthday cake? Was this discussed at all with her as she was hosting and presumably providing everything? Did you only talk about it with your fiance? If she knew and agreed to you making it, that was definitely an arsehole move on her part. It was at best a total disregard for the effort you put in by relegating it to kids only, rather than just sharing the table with the bought cake. At worst it was a power move to show you how little you matter. If she didn't know, then kind of wasn't a great move on your part to just walk out in a huff. But you have a fiance who doesn't stick up for you. That tells you to put up with his mom being rude to you. Is this really how you want to live? With him always putting his mom first? You need to have frank discussions with him about your relationship and about his mother's place in it before you get married. And set boundaries as to what is acceptable and what is not acceptable behavior from her. NTA. All your mill did was throw some cash at someone. You, however, put time and effort and love into making the exact cake he requested, therefore showing him how much he means to you, and he dismissed it just like that because mommy dearest went to the bakery? I see you're engaged. I hope you realize that this is exactly how it's going to be for the rest of your lives, and I hope you know that by marrying him, you realize that this is what you're getting yourself into. If your relationship with him is worth all of this, then by all means, continue. But if you don't see yourself putting up with his mama's boy behavior for the rest of your lives, then I think you have some reconsidering to do. Info. Was she aware you were bringing a cake? Did you make sure she knew you wanted to bring the cake? NTA. Run. Don't look back. If you get tangled with this family, you might get yourself one-way ticket to mental health institution. Honestly, there's no good happen when BF mom is mill from hell or ownership of hellhound. Info. Had you and his mom talked about you bringing the cake beforehand? There's a disconnect in the story here. Did the mill know that you were bringing the cake? Sounds like a lack of communication. Of course, you have more context in your own perspective, but from everyone else's perspective, you're the crazy person who left because there were 2 cakes. NTA. Either way. Just wondering if this was handled pragmatically or not. You specifically leave out the part where you told the mill not to make a cake and she agreed, but bought one anyways to spite you. So, I am not at all discounting the disrespectful things your FMIL and your fiance said to you. But did you ask if you could bring the cake? I know he's your fiance, but if she's hosting and planning the party, she probably expected to provide the cake. It's one thing for someone else to bring drinks or an appetizer to share, but the cake is typically provided by the host unless otherwise specified. You made a really nice gesture, but it sounds misplaced in this situation. Info. Did you say at any point that you were going to make the cake? Because that's actually the whole point here, and it completely changes the situation. But also, and regardless of that, he is a mummy's boy, and sometimes they start being that after marriage, but if he's like that before, oh girl, he is not getting any better. Just keep that in mind. NTA. If this was just about the birthday cake, it'd be different. Maybe. But this is your future partner. And his relationship with her. He appeases her. He puts her before you. You're marrying into this family. You're likely all your ancestors did it. Having kids in this family. Your FMIL is going to come before you with Ben and all of that. She'll override your parenting choices, and your husband will shrug and say, "That's okay," rather than confront her. I can guarantee her preferences matter more than yours for the wedding. He'll dress them up as his preferences to avoid the fights. Because that's what he wants, to avoid the conflict. And that's what she's trained him to do, to avoid conflict by appeasing her. My counsel is to either run away from this toxic dynamic or draw a really firm line. Somewhere you're comfortable standing your ground forever. I wouldn't have it be pastry. But that's me. NTA. Ben is incredibly disrespectful to you. He invalidated and gaslighted you. He should have placed you and your cake as priority. Red flag getting involved with this family. The mother sounds horrible, and he doesn't have the balls to stick up for you. I wouldn't tolerate any of that from her. I would have walked out the second she was commenting on my body. Horribly inappropriate. If mom didn't know about your cake, then walking out in a huff was kind of a dick move. though she ought to have been more gracious about yours either way. But as others point out, the salient issue is that fiance is a mama's boy. Actual marriage will change nothing. It'll always be three of you in the marriage and you will always be the third wheel. Info. Did she know that you were making the birthday cake? Generally, the host provides the cake. So unless she specifically knew, then it wasn't deliberately malicious. If she knew, then the level of malevolence is amazing. Your boyfriend has been clear that he is okay with this behavior. You need to understand that it will never change. Ever. Is this what you want for your life? Taking the other side, but it does not sound like you were asked to bring a cake in the host of a birthday party. Providing a cake isn't the act of spite that you think it is. I think you overreacted because you and the mill are probably ready to fight at any given moment. The non-cake related stuff, which is the real issue, led to the cake, which wasn't. But also, this is the rest of your life op if your partner's family. If they have a good relationship and you cannot get along, that should give you both some pause. NTA. But have fun marrying into that family. Info. Did you talk with your BF's mom about you making the cake? You have mentioned that she is hosting the party. Did you discuss this with her, or you just decided to make it? NTA. But you know that you'll always be second behind his mother because this is who she is. Right?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.